Cities are places where many people live and work together in a concentrated space. More than just a collection of buildings and roads, a city is a living reflection of what a society values, what it fears, what it hopes to become. The evolution of cities tells a grand story about human civilization, a tale of constant change and adaptation. For centuries, cities grew organically, shaped by trade, shaped by defense, shaped by the daily lives of their inhabitants. Then a new idea took hold, a desire for grand order and efficiency, marking the era of modernity. Planners sought to tame chaos with strict plans and rational designs, believing a well-ordered city would create a well-ordered society. That shift reshaped urban landscapes across the globe. But as modernity peaked, new voices began to question its rigid logic. They flagged what was lost when messy, vibrant street life was replaced by sterile, predictable zones. The modern city was born a powerful and seductive idea that human reason could conquer the messiness of urban life. Propelled by the Industrial Revolution and a faith in scientific progress, modern planners envisioned the city as a perfectly functioning machine. They believed that by applying logic and order, they could solve problems like disease, congestion, social unrest. This philosophy championed values like speed, efficiency, cleanliness. The ideal city would have wide, straight boulevards for fast-moving traffic, towering skyscrapers that reached for the heavens, and a clear separation of functions. Life was to be neatly sorted into boxes. At the heart of this modernist vision was the practice of zoning. While the modern city gleamed with the promise of efficiency and order, its rigid plans often came at a steep human cost. The very rules designed to create a better life frequently ended up excluding and marginalizing the most vulnerable populations. The obsession with wide roads and grand projects often required the demolition of entire neighborhoods, places that were seen by planners as slums, but were, in fact, complex and resilient communities. Working-class families, minority groups were disproportionately affected, their homes and social networks bulldozed to make way for highways or housing projects that rarely served their needs. Their history was erased in the name of progress. The story of Baron Haussmann's Paris provides a classic example. While his new boulevards created the iconic cityscape we admire today, they were also a tool of social engineering. The construction displaced hundreds of thousands of working-class Parisians from the city center. By the middle of the 20th century, a powerful counter-movement began to emerge, questioning the core tenets of modernism. People started to notice sterile, perfectly planned environments, social failures lacking vitality, older, seemingly chaotic neighborhoods with life. The writer and activist Jane Jacobs became the most influential voice. In her seminal 1961 book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, she argued passionately for the value of mixed-use streets, dense populations, old buildings, the eyes on the street. She celebrated the complex, spontaneous ballet of sidewalk life, turning the world of urban planning upside down. This intellectual shift ushered in the era of postmodern urbanism. Unlike modernism, which sought a single universal solution, postmodernism embraced complexity, contradiction, and diversity. While the postmodern turn brought welcome diversity, renewed appreciation for urban life, it also introduced a new set of challenges. The rejection of a single master plan did not automatically lead to a more equitable city. Instead, urban development became increasingly driven by the logic of the global market. Cities began to compete on a world stage, seeking to attract international investment, tourism, the creative class. This competition led to a focus on spectacular signature architecture, luxury waterfront developments, high-end shopping districts, treating the city less as a home and more as a product to be marketed. This market-driven approach frequently privatized what were once public spaces, making access to the best parts of the city conditional on one's ability to pay. Gated communities with their own security guards and private amenities created physical and social barriers, isolating the wealthy from the rest of the urban population. Gleaming new shopping malls, designed to be controlled and secure environments, replaced public squares as primary gathering places, subtly excluding those who did not appear to be serious consumers. In response to the growing inequalities of the postmodern city, a powerful call has emerged for the creation of spaces of social justice. This is not just an abstract ideal, but a practical vision for building fairer, more inclusive cities. It is a demand for urban planning and policy that actively works to dismantle barriers and ensure that all residents can thrive. At its core, this idea insists that access to fundamental urban resources, decent housing, reliable public transportation, safe parks, quality healthcare, is a basic human right, not a privilege reserved for the wealthy. It calls for a planning process that listens to and empowers local communities, especially those who have historically been ignored. Across the world, inspiring examples of this quest are already taking shape. Grassroots movements have become a powerful force for change. In cities like Mumbai and Nairobi, organizations of slum and shack dwellers have organized to resist forced evictions, collectively negotiate with governments for land tenure. The city of the future does not require us to choose order of modernism, pluralism of postmodernism. Instead, it calls for a thoughtful synthesis, a new vision that blends the best of both worlds while placing social justice at its very heart. We can and should harness the power of rational planning, new technology to make our cities more efficient and sustainable, but these tools must be guided by a deep and unwavering commitment to equity. The ultimate measure of a great city is not the height of its skyscrapers, the speed of its transit, but the dignity and opportunity it affords to every single one of its residents. Some cities already light the way forward, demonstrating that this balance is achievable.